What's going on, my pretty pandas? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and happy Monday, and welcome back to today's review, which is going to be on Emily Wants to Play 2. Now, as you guys know, around the end of the game of Emily Wants to Play 2, I had a little bit of trouble completing the game. I covered in this review, and yeah, oh goodness gracious, I'm like such an idiot at the end of the game. Let's get into this game review, where the game isn't over until I get scared. Just a warning, this article contains spoilers. If you guys have not played the game yet, it is still fairly new, so just keep that in mind while you're listening to my voice. Now, the evening was calm, serene, seemingly normal. As a delivery person, you are doing what has been requested of you. Little do you know what's awaiting. Emily Wants to Play 2 is a first-person survival horror game created by Sean Hitchcock and released December 2017. With the game, you're trying to find your way through central evidence and play with Emily and her friends until 7 a.m. In this game, you really must think your way through it to make it. For some, it may be easy, but for those who get easily jump scared, it may be a little more difficult. I realize that this is a game, and as hard as it may seem, there is always a way to beat it. Game, similarly to the first, you must last until the morning, and if you guys have not played the very first game, I will be doing a review on that one as well, but I feel like this review encapsulates what it's like to experience the first game as well. Now, in this game, similarly to the first, you must last until the morning, and if you guys have played the very first game, which I'll leave my playthrough at the end of this video, they are very similar, but there are very significant differences about the first game and this one, being that the story continues, and it's just, I'll get into it in a little bit, but there are significant differences. Now, similarly to the first game, you gotta last until the morning, and there are outstanding differences that make this game stand out from its predecessor. In the first game, Emily Wants to Play, we are introduced to a puppet called Chester, a clown called Mr. Tatters, a porcelain doll called Kiki, and of course our main antagonist, Emily. Emily Wants to Play 2, we are introduced to three new characters, Greta, Weasel, and Max. While the game is very simplistic in its idea, play with Emily's friends and survive until 7 a.m. It requires you to think through certain levels, and in this game the levels are more diverse and there is more map room to work with that makes it challenging but more fun, if you ask me. Also, if you have played the first game, then you are no stranger to the whiteboard's trickery. When you are told certain directions in the game, if there is a smiley face on the whiteboard, it is telling you the truth. But if you read the whiteboard and it is telling you to do something and then there's like a winky face at the end, it's lying to you. Now, the game wants you to think through, and it wants you to find your way through the certain mechanisms, and there is no cheat sheet, there is no man in a dark alleyway to give you clues. Although if Mr. Murchie were in this game, that would be pretty awesome if you ask me. In this game, paying attention matters. Paying attention to the characters, your surroundings, and the notes. Everything means something in this game. Nothing is there by coincidence, nothing is there by happenstance or chance, it's all there for a reason. Emily Wants to Play 2 holds some very important clues and secrets that make the game satisfying to play and even more satisfying to finish. Upon starting the game, you play as a sandwich delivery person who gets back from partying, you know, a little too much, and has to rest up for work, and while sleeping, he encounters these nightmares and is jolted awake by his alarm. Real hell begins, and he needs to do the dishes. I just really don't like doing the dishes. I'm just playing with you, okay? I'm just joking, but if you're like me and you hate doing the dishes, you understand why this is hell. Upon finishing his due chores, he can then leave for work. But wait, something's not right. The power is shut down and you need to find a way to get it back on. I will give you a little assistance here since I know I had some trouble with this section. There is a key card that you will need to find that opens the patio door lock at the clock that's upstairs, according to the number that is on the clock whenever you see it in that newly found hallway that somehow appeared. I don't know why you always have newly found hallways in horror games, but there are. According to the clock, the time that's on the clock will be the time and the number that you need to associate with the picture that is upstairs that has the red dots on it. It will give you access to leave, and upon coming to central evidence, you get locked in and must retrieve 4 key cards to gain access to each area. This is where the fun begins. For some hell, for me fun. For me hell, but also fun. You need to think your way through certain levels. Nothing is really blatantly said as this is what you must do to survive. Once you think about it, it kind of is, but it's not as blunt as people would want it to be. That are all you have in this game. You have the jump scares, the unknown fear of something coming at you, the joy of finding Emily, which is a big one for me, the level of accomplishment that you get whenever you're finding an Easter egg or secret in the game, which there are many of them. You just have to go through and be smart about what kind of things you are looking at in the game. Now, all of these are used to drive the player's motivation to finish the game and to also show that no matter what, you can be anything you put your mind to. Remember that. There is always a way out, which Sean actually talked to me about whenever I was having confusion about the game. I actually got a chance to talk with Sean Hitchcock, and I tweeted at him saying that there's a bug whenever I go inside the fire area, and I kept getting gobbled up by the fire, and he told me that there was always a way out and that there wasn't a bug within the game whenever he looked at my video. So thanks, Sean, again, for letting me know of the fact that there is always a way out, and I'm just a silly hipster. Isn't anything I can use to my advantage, looking around the place, doing all that stuff. I also managed to escape, so I want to publicly apologize to Sean Hitchcock for assuming that it was a bug, for assuming that it was on the game's end and not mine. I did not take responsibility at the time, so I really sincerely apologize. So with all of that being said, really this game is wonderful, even though it had me annoyed on multiple occasions. It keeps you on your feet and it gives you a true sense of accomplishment, and it's not a game that will give you everything on a silver platter. It really honestly, just because it's a game, I feel like very few games nowadays will challenge you to make you feel powerful and helpless at the same time, and it's really a weird yet satisfying feeling. So would I recommend this game? Yes. It really is heart-pounding, it's engaging, and you guys will have to let me know if you try it, because I will love to see your creeped out reactions by this game. But yeah, that was the review, and if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell down below, because I make videos every weekday. Stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will talk to you all in tomorrow's video. Peace.